Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a battle report of my second round at the WTC in October in Germany. I'm part of the Dutch Lions playing for the Netherlands, and I'm playing Dread Elves. Second round, I'm facing off against Dwarven Holds. So we were doing the pairing, and I indicated that this was not a good pairing for me. I rated it as like a 5-point matchup. But basically, it was either me or the captain of our team going against the Dwarves, and we were both not confident into the matchup. But my mate, he had a bit of a well, he had lost the first round, so I was like, well, I'll just take this one, and then we'll give you a better matchup. So I sacrificed myself for the team, taking the Dwarven Holds, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So my list once again, this is the Dread Elves with double Temple Militants, a lot of Chariots, and Master on Unification on a Manticore. Basically, it has a lot of juicy targets for Dwarves to shoot at. And then this is my opponent's Dwarven Holds list. It's a player who also is very familiar with Dread Elves. And I believe he has his own YouTube channel as well in French, so maybe we'll also see this matchup from his side. Yeah, it's one of the, I think it's by now like a stereotypical Dwarven Holds list where you basically have an MSU setup with as much little units as possible. We also have a player in our team or in our group of people that are playing who is also making use of a list that is quite similar to this. I think our player uses a bit more Forge Wardens and a bit less artillery, and he also uses a bit more Greybeards and less Clans Marksmen, because he found that the handguns are not really worth it in his opinion. And I don't know, maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I think Greybeards with great weapons are also still quite scary. So it's a good list, that's for sure, and it's probably quite a good player behind it, right? Yeah, probably quite a good player behind it. You can already see it from all the measurement sticks that are being put down just during the first Dwarven Holds turn. It's an amazing looking army in general. I really like the combination of the turquoise and the purple. And it really works. Like the models together, they're quite nice to see. We are playing, I believe, Dawn Assault, and we are playing Hold the Ground. So Hold the Ground against these Dwarves, well, they have a ton of scoring, and I'm not gonna survive. My estimation is that I will not really survive past turn 4, so we'll see how that goes with Hold the Ground. The Dwarves take turn 1, which means that they are going to be able to take some pot shots at me, but it also means that I can deploy in such a way that my opponent doesn't really see that much of my army. So for my opponent, left to right, he has the Hold Guardians, he has a Grudge Buster, he has Dwarves. I'm just going to call them Dwarves because there's one unit of Forge Wardens, I believe it's this one, and then he has the Greybeards, which are, I believe, the ones with the shields, and then he has some shooting guys, and shooting guys, I guess. Then he has Gyrocopters, Gyro Bombers, and he has the Flamethrower, he has a Vengeance Seeker, he has this is next to the Gyro Bomber is. Did he have an organ gun? I think he had an organ gun. And then there was a cannon just behind. Another Gyro Bomber, no, the big thing is one of the small flying things. Vengeance Seeker and Hold Guardians. So for me, left to right, this I do know. Raptor Chariot, Effigy of Dread, Temple Militants with Flaming Standard, Beast Breakers, Mist Leviathan. This guy's gonna die, right? Thunder Pack, Raptor Chariot, Black Cloaks, the Temple Militants. This is the Flaming Standard, the other one was the Swift Strike unit. Raptor Dude, Manticore Wizard, Hunting Chariot, and a Mist Leviathan. And I believe I'm missing the second Hunting Chariot somewhere. Maybe it's all the way on the flank. My turn 1. Okay, the second Hunting Chariot and the Mist Leviathan were actually hiding on the far away on the right side. So my opponent did shoot already like 6 wounds on my Mist Leviathan. So in my previous battle report, I talked about how this model was like the last model that I painted to finish this army just like a week before the WTC, and I expected him to die first in every single game. So far he is keeping his promise, and he is doing his very best to die as quickly as possible. So this matchup particularly is the reason why in navigation I took Danse Macabre, because, well, this is the end of my movement in turn 1, and then I still cast a spell to get some more movement up. We'll see if the next picture will show this. But basically I just went for it. I just went for broke, just as far as I could. I don't really fancy maybe the Hold Guardians Temple Militants matchup because they have like 3 of armor. But otherwise, my opponent is not going to realistically charge into anything anyway, so I might as well just go as far up, as fast up as I can. So yeah, here you can see that with the Vanilla Danse Macabre, I do move up a bit more. So the Thunderpack are... oh, this is already after the Danse Macabre, I think. You do see that here the chariots are in the back, the raptor guy is in the back, but then in this picture the Manticore went a bit back, the raptor chariot and the hunting chariot went a bit more forward, and the raptor dude also went forward behind the Mist Leviathan. This little trick allowed me to shoot with 2 hunting chariots at the gyro thing that was over there, that got shot down. And then we basically go into Dwarven Hold's turn 2. He does charge in onto the Black Cloaks, which I don't know, like it's gonna remove my Black Cloaks, that's for sure, otherwise he could have taken shooting to get rid of them. He's probably gonna overrun into my Militants, which is maybe more of a problem, because then it means that in my turn I cannot move with my Militants. However, maybe we do 2 rounds of combat and then my opponent cannot shoot at my Militants for a round. So this matchup, I feel like it's also a lot about combat management in the sense of when are you going to be able to fight a combat, when are you going to get out of a combat, and how is that going to go. My opponent, meanwhile, is just basically chilling and shooting me down. This round he does manage to kill the Mist Leviathan, I believe, with the Organ Gun, and then this one is the cannon, or bullet, I don't know, I think it was a cannon. He did get a beautiful shot at my Dread Prince, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, oh well, it does matter in the sense that this turn I do lose my Dread Prince, just do like a 3 wound roll of my opponent, taking out my model completely, which is a shame for the matchup from my perspective. But realistically, a single guy without any armor, basically, against the shooting that my opponent has, without an Aegis, it's gonna die at some point, except if I have a unit to hide in. You could argue for Dread Elves that you could bring either multiple units or big units of cavalry, big units of Shadow Riders. Are you gonna put a cold one in that? Nah, not really. Are you gonna put in like a horse-mounted character and drop to a 2+ armor save? You could, but then again, the units that you're talking about have like 4 up armor save, resilience 3. So it's against an army like this, it's not really difficult to get down to 4 rank of file models and still shoot your guy out. And even a unit of Dread Knights of 10 would not have really helped me in this matchup, I think. They would just have died to an Organ Gun at some point. And also the mobile gyro bomber shooting. So my turn 2, my opponent had indeed he did overrun into the Temple Militants. He did shoot away the Dread Prince. I do try a charge with the Temple Militants on Swift Stride against, I believe, the Hold Guardians, because they were the closest target. I was like, I just need to get in combat, because as you can see, the last round my opponent shot away like 9 or 10 models. Another round is going to be another 10 models. So I have to get into combat as fast as possible, but even with the reroll from the hill, I don't make it into contact. I do make it into contact with my Thunder Pack though, and I do manage to push up a little bit of the rest of my list. Honestly, at this point, it feels like the castle is crumbling down. So there's still quite some range between me and my opponent. I have the Beast Breakers on the objective to score it at least once in a very cheeky manner. And my wizard just has to move along despite there being a cannon and whatever. I am putting my hopes on the Thunder Pack here to just go through wreck stuff and still make me get some points in this matchup. I also have 2 Hunting Chariots lined out for the Vengeance Seeker. This is amazing in Dread Elves that you can just get rid of stuff like a Vengeance Seeker with Hunting Chariots, because it really helps matchups like this. Dwarven holds turn 3. So I do get an overrun with the Thunder Pack in my turn, and then my opponent. I don't know why I took this picture, because it looks really similar as the previous round. The Grudgebuster is gone. I don't think I show any of the shooting of my opponent here yet, but maybe with the next picture. I think he didn't really do that much with his shooting, I guess. I don't know why I took these different pictures. Anyway, he does charge onto my Mistleviton, which is quite a decent charge for him, and he is also just going to be able to wreck my Leviathan, basically. The reason that I did this was because I was in a mindset of just pushing up everything as fast as possible, or as far as possible, I think. So if we would play this matchup again, I would do this probably differently. But having the Temple Militants go into any combat is a win for me. He does also charge with a unit of miners on the flank of my my militants. The failed charge means that I also couldn't move my BSB to the other side of the unit, and this is going to mean that my militants break, and they are being caught by a couple of dwarves, and then he continues shooting, and he shoots away a lot of the beast breakers. So my turn. After this, well, the cookie is still crumbling. So my Thunder Pack come free from the Vengeance Seeker, and I decide actually that it's a better decision to go for the cannon rather than for the flame cannon and to continue here. Mostly because my Warlock is still in the field, and losing the Warlock means that I lose another 800 points, because the model itself is like 600 points and it is my general. So I would like him to survive. Otherwise, I do score the objective a second time this round. Oh my god, amazing. And I do get in with my Raptor Chariot onto his organ gun. This was something that I appreciated. I also have a Hunting Chariot getting into contact with a Vengeance Seeker, and I have this mess here with the Hold Guardians. I believe I get a combat spell off on my militants, and then I make quick work of the Hold Guardians, but I'm not sure. That actually might be wrong, because I believe the Hold Guardians actually managed to break my militants. And then, well, this entire thing happens, where eventually I grind them down. The Hold Guardians of my opponent that were on the other side of the field, they get to go into the objective. This is a bit later in the game, so my Raptor Chariot that was over here beating the organ gun took out another unit and then went into the flank, or I went into the flame cannon, then into the flank of these guys, and it will still overrun into these greybeards, I believe, and there it will unfortunately die. Thunder Pack, they made it into the cannon, they got rid of the cannon, and then I believe they failed like a panic test or something, and then they just got off the field. Yeah, but, well, I mean, most importantly, I guess, is that my Warlock Outcast is still alive, my Dread Effigy is still alive. The Raptor Chariot's gonna die, unfortunately, but the Militants are also still alive. So in the end, I have like 300 plus 600 plus 600, more or less, 1500 points left. My opponent has like 200, 500, 700, 900, 1000, like 1200 points left. And then objective wise, I did score the objective twice. My opponent is scoring it twice now. So that's going to be a draw. And my opponent still cleans up. I don't know. Still some cleaning up is being done. And this score is not right because it should be a 9-11 to the dwarves. But it turned out to be a 9-11 for the Dwarvenholds, which was a score that I was really happy with. Because going from turn 2 to turn 6 like this is not something that I was expecting. Because turn 2-ish, turn 3, turn 2 I think. Yeah, I mean the board looking like this is quite grim, I would say. Like here with the field charge, with the counter charge open, with a lot of dwarven stuff still being there, with a lot of the shooting still being there. Going to a turn 6 that looks like this was quite an achievement, according to me. So I also talked about it with my opponent, and he was quite impressed with the Raptor Chariot, just taking out like a quarter of his army once he got into the backfield. But also quite reliably, the Raptor Chariot did like 6 wounds to any of the Dwarven units, meaning that they were not stat fast anymore. Meaning that they would auto break, and then I quite easily caught them. I think maybe my opponent also made some mistakes lining up his units. I think, oh well, like war machines are the bane of your line. Like if you look at this Raptor Chariot here, this is the one that went into the organ gun, then as an overrun, and also really you can pivot at any point with the chariot. So I could also have gone here and just pivoted the other way to have an overrun into the flank of this unit with his general, but then I would have had a counter charge here. So I decided to go to this side, but then you can also go to the other side. From this, if I do get out of combat, I can freely pivot, I can go anywhere I want. So basically it's really difficult to remove models from your backline once they are there. So I am more confident about this matchup right now than I was before. I still think it's a bad matchup for the Dread Elves. But I could have played it differently. Like next time, what I'm gonna do probably is keep the Mist Leviathans both just in the center of the board, just to give me sufficient wounds to. Maybe I'll just put like 2 Mist Leviathans behind each other, and then put the Manticore and the Raptor guy behind that, just to have a shield of meat protecting me, and then just rushing up somewhere. Like I knew with my opponent's deployment, the Mist Leviathans are only really scared of, I think, of the Hold Guardians, because anything else it might go in, but I mean it will still anyway block line of sight for that round. So I will still deliver my Raptor and my Warlock Outcast. And in this matchup, they're just delivery systems really. They don't really have to do anything else other than to deliver my characters. So I guess I could have played even more aggressively for a higher benefit. Yeah, I would love to play this matchup again, because I am quite excited about what I learned during this matchup. But most of you will probably know that I have switched over to Warriors of the Dark Arts in the meantime. So we will see when I will get a chance to practice this matchup a bit more thoroughly. With that, thank you for watching, and I will see you then next time.